Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Um, this has been a, a really anxiety-ridden week. I just feel like I've been on edge and I haven't really wanted to do this because it's just too much. It's too maddening. I'm so irritated by this Charlie Kirk nonsense that he's somehow some deified martyr, and that we're not they, they keep saying, he was a defender of free speech. He said very specifically he wanted to protect hate speech. And in somehow in honoring him, they want to silence anyone who says anything negative about him, which is the antithesis of free speech. And it's wildly frustrating. Um, and I'm Of course it's being it just keeps perpetuating because the right wing controls all the media narrative, because the Democrats suck at it, and the media gobbles it all up. They go along hook, line, and sinker every fucking time. Um, so it's I think I said this already that um, the whole thing is suspect, and this shooter that they have in custody, or alleged shooter, or confessed shooter, the way that they're trying to twist it into somehow making him have some sort of wokeness to him that's supposed to be evil. That's his problem. He can't just be this far right extremist Groiper kid, um, for whom Charlie Kirk was not enough of a white supremacist. Like somehow now he's got to have a trans boyfriend. Like I'm not buying any of this. I don't buy that those text messages that they released are real, and it's an ongoing investigation. Why are you releasing that anyway? So that's all like fucking annoying. And to watch any of this coverage of Cash Patel, because I saw yesterday and I saw today, not all of it, but enough of it. Um, that and the discussion today on the View was how incompetent he was, and you know what? God bless you, Joy Behar. Um, that it is competence, and you know what? I agree with you, honey. We are screwed. Um, because we have the playbook. We know what they want to do. And it's Project 2025. And they've gotten really far, really fast. And we know what all the next steps are. And it's gotta get worse. And it's already starting to. I take exception to Whoopi Goldberg saying that we're not screwed because we're still standing. I don't see anybody breaking. You know who I see breaking? Every fucking Republican. Every elected fucking Republican in Washington and around the goddamn country. Bending the knee, kissing the ring. And I get it. I get it. What the UK is doing, and what Prince Charles is, and I hate to say this, but Alyssa is right. They're just gonna stroke his little head, and say some nice things. It is funny though, because I assume this is the right audio. It's hard to tell what's true and what isn't anymore. But when the big band was playing, they were playing the Darth Vader theme. At least that's a clip that I saw. I'm hoping that's true because I think it's hilarious. It sounds very dun, 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 dun. But the symbolism behind it is pretty fucking funny. Um, trolling him to his face, and he'll never get it. It's just he's too stupid. Um, but you know, we are breaking, Whoopi, and that's part of the problem. And you want to talk about free speech. Your own network just pulled your late night host off the air indefinitely for talking about Charlie Kirk. And if you watch this week on Monday night, he barely says anything. Just that the right is trying so hard to make the shooter not seem anything like them, and he's correct. And then he talks about Trump's reaction to it, which is, and Trump got asked a couple of times on camera, and he immediately pivoted to the ballroom, the big beautiful ballroom, which is they're tearing out, um, old growth trees to build that stupid gilded cage, and spending $200 million of our money when people could get health care or clean water. Um, and he's pulling funding for all sorts of programs in education, poor kids to be able to get books. And it's the whole thing is just disgusting. But we know this is just going to keep happening. It's just going to make everybody's lives harder. Um, and, you know, I, I wanted to do this now in advance of whatever they're going to say tomorrow because they can't not talk about Jimmy Kimmel getting pulled off the air, even though it's the same network. And what are they going to be told to be able to say? Because uh, Hassani was pretty fired up today. I don't know if she's going to be allowed to be fired up. Um, it. So I want to see. I want to see what happens with them in this, post Kimmel silencing. Um, that might not be broken, Whoopi. He might not be broken, but it is a systematic silencing of dissenting voices. These are the biggest platforms in the country. And I don't get it. Charlie Kirk is a podcaster. That's the other thing. Why the fuck is the vice president of the United States now doing a podcast? Are there not other things that he should be doing besides running a right wing podcast from the White House or wherever the fuck he's doing it from? That's just asinine and lying and just spreading fucking lies. I get it, Whoopi. I see it. I see the farmers are mad. I see the people that voted for him are like, I didn't vote for this. But yes, you did, because this is what we told you was going to happen. I just don't know if we've got enough in us to get off of our couches and make it stop because our elected officials are letting it happen. I don't care how hard they grilled Cash Patel today. What are you going to do about it? Adam Schiff went on this big tirade on social media about all these banners that they're putting up on the government buildings in DC. These huge Trump banners about how it's illegal for a president to self-aggrandize and provide propaganda. And it's like, okay, thanks for pointing that out, Shifty, but what the fuck are you doing about it? Like, don't tell me that you've written a strongly worded letter and you're going to get an injunction. Just go rip the fucking things down. Go rip them down. Anyway, so the country's going to hell. Sorry, Whoop, but I'm with Joy on this one, which is not very joyful. But I will say one thing that is joyful. That my friend um, uh, did not win his category at the Emmys on the weekend, but one of the actors from his show did, and was a huge sort of surprise and upset in this category. And one of the most beautiful things from that Emmys telecast was when Jeff Hiller won, who he wasn't predicted to win. It's a tiny show, not a lot of people saw it, It's over now. HBO didn't renew it. Um, and up against some bigger names on bigger shows. But the reaction that came from Coleman Domingo and Michael Urie and Bowen Yang, the other gay performers in that category, of sheer joy and delight when Jeff won, it gets me teary. Is Was I think the most uplifting thing I've seen in weeks. And his speech was lovely, and what a sort of delightful moment of um, joyful surprise, and that we just don't get a lot of those these days. Um, so I go back to I have somehow rigged my algorithm on some of these. Like it's just like Jeff Hiller and Somebody Somewhere appreciation posts. If you haven't seen the television show Somebody Somewhere, it's on HBO Max. It might also be on Hulu. I'm not sure. It's wonderful. 3 seasons. I think there's only like 20 episodes, and they're half an hour each or 25 minutes each. You can whip through it. And it's so beautiful and heartfelt and sweet and sad. And it's just a little sort of slice of life where not a lot really happens, but it's so incredibly relatable and honest. Anyway, yeah, so that's Wednesday. Let's see what the rest of the week brings.